the Vice President of the Bar Association of India and Additional Solicitor General of India, Dr. Pinky Anand.
An honor. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Absolutely.
A very eminent senior counsel, I think, who's considered as an institution in the state of Karnataka, and now is the Supreme Court gets benefit by his presence and appearances, Mr. S.S. Naganand, Vice President of the Association. I don't think the Solicitor General is here. No, that's Mr. Tushar Mehta. One of my real idols in the legal profession, with whom I had the benefit of interacting very frequently when he was also the chairman of the Bar Council of India, and then also as the Solicitor General, one of the most eminent senior lawyers of this country has seen, Mr. V.R. Reddy. Senior. The next recipient is Zia Modi, the founder of AZB Partners. She spoke to me. She says, I am unable to travel to Delhi. Will you receive the award on my behalf? I said, I'll be very honored. And as I told you, that there can be no substitute for a law teacher. I think we are all beholden to our law teachers, and they always remain law teachers. One may become a great lawyer, but I think he'll have the same regard for a law teacher as he had when he was a student of that law teacher. Professor Upendra Bakshi does not need any introduction. It's a great privilege for the Bar Association to recognize will be privileged to. Why don't you remain here, or you will speak someday? You have to speak for it.
I'll speak for my supper. Yeah, okay. Right now?
Right now.
Right now.
After that.
Oh,
This is a response on behalf of the legal education field of India. This will be followed by a response by Mr. Janak Dwarkadas, representing the living legends of law.
thank you very much for this very fine gesture, and thanks to all the referees who made my presence here possible, whom I don't know, but I will be privileged. I'm very privileged. Thanks to distinguished justices of the Supreme Court, Justice Indira Banerjee and Justice Ravindra Bhat, the great doyens of the bar here. I would not name all of them, and there outside, across the podium. Again, I would name many people whom I would like to name, because then I'm given only 2 minutes to speak. And I don't have much to say, but I'll take those minutes in not saying it. One is that it's a great pleasure and privilege to be invited and to be recognized by such eminent practitioners and justices at the bar. And BAI has done a your person service to legal profession, and not just in India. Mr. Lalit and Prasant Kumar, all their past presidents and executive councillors, members, have spread the message of Indian jurisprudence overseas. And I think that's a great achievement, a great cultural exchange that they have performed. We celebrate this occasion, particularly this particular occasion, by focusing on Mahatma Gandhi. Now that's a very difficult expression for me. Long time back I realized the last part of his word, Gandhi, was, to say the least, politically very ambiguous term. Just too many Gandhis around. I had a student union president in Gujarat who was also called a Gandhi, a particularly troublesome man. All Gandhis are by definition very troublesome. I hope that the Gandhis here will acknowledge that. The second part of his name is a Karamchand, which is a Jasus serial in Doordarshan, espionage serial. So you can't really. And the third part is Mohandas, and Mahatma is a very nice essay by another Kumaraswamy called Who is a Mahatma? And it's worth reading, I won't go into it. And Babasaheb Ambedkar famously said, Mahatmas come and go, but untouchables remain who they are forever in Hindu society. So I'm only left with one Mohandas, so forgive me if I refer to Mohandas. At one time I referred to him as Kasturba, because Mohandas is no one without Kasturba. But even the progressive editor then of the Economic and Political Weekly said, Mohandas I will sell, try to sell, but don't Kasturba, nobody will buy. Probably times have now changed, now I try it again. So this man, Mohandas, we are reminded, was a lawyer. My impression was that truth was more important to him than practice of law. And he paid the price for it by remaining virtually briefless. But a great mind, a great, possibly a great thinker as well. What did Mohandas say about freedom? He said, freedom is nothing but ahimsa, non-violence. And what is that? Non-violence and rights will go together. And it's a very simple definition of rights. Rights are those faculties which we exercise in a way that is non-injurious to another. There is no problem with the idea of reasonable restriction and all that stuff. He just said, you have your rights, but you exercise them in a way that doesn't injure the other. He had also a beautiful notion of freedom in addition, where he said, I do not, and please note the emphasis, I want just freedom and not just freedom. I just freedom myself, but freedom for the whole society. I want emancipation. Freedom is emancipation, but of everybody. And that's when we are celebrating today. And justly, I think the bar can take a very great source of pride in the fact that it is the 150th birthday. All kinds of appropriation happen, but this kind of appropriation is more than welcome because it speaks of the future of India, at least the constitutional future of India. There couldn't be a better occasion for celebrating now. In these days of hyper-partisanship and polarization and demonization of the adversary. This Mohandas was none of this. The second point I wish to make is the great tradition and power of the bar, whose outstanding exponents are present here. And what did this do? What is the power of the bar? The first power of the bar is the way in which even Mohandas had to eat an humble pie. Mohandas actually had to apologize to the Bombay Bar for an article he wrote in the Harijan, which he edited, and which he compared lawyers with cobblers. And the Bombay Bar had a different image of itself, quite rightly so, and threatened a boycott of courts unless Mr. Gandhi apologized. And he did apologize in not in the present fashion which Mr. Brahmananda Reddy has inaugurated in India. The present fashion is, if I've hurt your sentiments, then I'm sorry. It's a standard form of Indian apology, which is a conditional apology, and conditional apology is no apology. And therefore, but that may be, that's my point. Mr. Gandhi had the power of the bar is seen in the making of the Constitution. Most of the Constituent Assembly, as we reminded, were lawyers. The power of the bar was shown during the emergency, when 9 high courts ruled for freedom, and the Supreme Court unfortunately caved in, for whatever good or bad reasons, which are subject of analysis. The power of the bar is now shown in delivering gender justice against all societal exclusions, and some of them are violent exclusions. So that's a great profession to which you all belong. We have a small role in leading you towards certification according to the Farmans of the Bar Council of India and the dictats of the individual lawyers who constitute the Legal Revision Committee. But we do a little bit to produce, to get that credential. More and more, sovereignty in the world over has become certificatory sovereignty. And we are the producers of the certificatory sovereignty, teachers. Thereafter, the wonders of the tradition that take over. So I'm very happy that this occasion arisen. And my last point is that this power can be exercised, as has been repeatedly said here, for good as well as bad. Article 19 of the Constitution of India recognizes 3 freedoms: the right to profession, the right to trade, and the right to do business. And this is not the occasion to dwell on the different concepts involved in these 3 words. When one is profession, other is trade, and third is business. has, like medical profession, legal profession, slipped rather rapidly from being a learned profession to a business or a trade. And trade can be a beautiful thing. Without trade, there is no civilization. Without symbol trading in rule of law, a symbol which you trade in, there wouldn't be a civilized society. So trade is not necessarily bad. But when does profession become a trade? And when does profession become business? Are matters that are as important to consider as Justice Ravindra Bhat rightly said, are matters of technology and artificial intelligence. In fact, lawyers and judges possess, before artificial intelligence was discovered, AI of their own. Remember Lord Coke said in the 17th century to King James I, he said, my Lord, my Royal Highness, the law has an artificial intelligence of its own. That's where the word comes from. In the Jethmalani case. And we are the interpreters of the artificial intelligence. And therefore, we are indirectly obeying you when we actually oppose you. But we are duty bound to oppose the royalty itself, because we have taken an oath to uphold the common law tradition. We have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution in our sense, in third schedule. So in a sense, even though lawyers are unoathed beings, but they daily have intercourse with the oath beings, I hope some of that oath rubs on to the lawyers as well of the future. Thank you indeed. I can't go where you also.
It is always a treat to hear Professor Upendra Bakshi, or last year we had Professor Moolchand Sharma ji, these are the people who make lawyers, and it is good to know from them what is their impression about the legal profession as it exists today. Thank you very much, Professor.